Good morning to all you good folk, and welcome to our home and home renovations TV. This morning Zoe and I have been discussing the next week's jobs, and boy have we got a list, ranging from just finishing this floor over here, which I've got some lovely tips coming up for you. So let me run through today's jobs. Today I've got to finish this floor over here, as I've just said. We're then going to move on and sort this half out. I've got to then take the boards off behind you and insulate underneath the stairs, just because every time anybody goes up and down the stairs, it just thunders. So yeah, there's that job, and then at the bottom of the stairs, have I missed anything? Oh yeah, sorry. At the bottom of the stairs there's a hole in the hallway that I just need to sort out. It's just that we cut them out of the boards out of the floor to fit the stairs, so it's got something nice and solid. The stairs have got something nice and solid to go on. So there's that job, and then the final job is just underneath the stairs, and I'll show you later on when we get to that. I'm going to be building a small stud wall, which is going to house a drawer, which for the time being can be used for putting the hoover or shoes or items like that when we're coming through the front door. But for today we're just going to be doing the stud wall and plasterboard in either side of it. Okay, so that's today's jobs. Hopefully we get through them all, you know, and hopefully there's no disasters. Normally when we talk about doing some of the jobs, something ends up popping up that we end up having to sort out. So yeah, I'm going to finish my coffee and then we'll be getting on. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Right, so what I've done is I've put the board that I want to use up against this
last board
door,
going in.
the last board, in place here. Okay, and actually it's two boards. What I've then done is got a piece of scrap of the floorboard with the tongue, with the groove on. Okay, groove, tongue. What I'm then doing, and I'm not very good at this, but it's a trick that I learned. I would prefer to have had a pair of calipers. Okay, what I'm going to do then is put a mark here, okay, and move it along a mark, okay, and then keep going, okay, put in marks every so often along the board. Okay. Right, so we're back to marking. I've just done the other piece over there just to double check that what I was doing was right. You know, this was a trick that my brother, who does carpets, and he was doing carpet tiles, taught me to do, and I've just used it or tried to use it on the flooring, and it actually, the timber, and it actually works. Yes, I would have preferred to have had a proper scribe tool to do it, but unfortunately I don't have one at the moment. I will be getting one for when we do the kitchen and other jobs that really will need that extra bit of attention to detail. There is a small gap about the width of my pencil down there, but that's not a problem because we're going to be putting some quarter round pieces down there, so I'm just going to put some silicone in there, and you know, just to seal up that bit to make, you know, make sure there's no air or anything, cold air coming up through there. So, oh, and yesterday I should mention that I did say I might be doing the brickwork today. Not a chance. You can probably hear the wind coming down the chimney, but the weather out here is so
gale.
wet. I mean, it's absolutely tipping it down, and it's cold. And actually, we thought we saw some snow, but no, it just seems to be rain. So yeah, on to this bit. The tools you need for marking is obviously what I've just shown you down on the floor down there. You'll need a spirit level or a long straight edge, your speed square, and a simple pencil. What I'm going to do first is put in the line across the grain. Okay, like so. Okay, then I'm going to take my spirit level. Okay, obviously if you're doing a bigger piece, then use a longer spirit level for this. Okay, I'm going to line up with that mark up the top and the lowest, furthest one this way, so I'm lining up with those two. Okay, don't worry if it's not straight, but that, you know, it doesn't need to be. You're actually following the contour of the door, the wall, or whatever it is that you're scribing against. Okay, then we're going to come down and do the same down this end here, remembering that you see there's a step. Okay, there's a step here because of the block work and the door itself. Okay, then I'm going to do the same down here. Okay, right, this is another tip for you. Okay, always double check which piece it is that you're wanting to keep. Now I want to keep the piece with the groove on it, so all I'm going to do is put a little squiggle on the scrap side that I'm getting rid of. Okay,
so you don't get mixed up.
So I don't get mixed up. Then I'm going to be using my plunge. I'm going to call it a plunge saw. I'm not actually sure what to call it. Whether you call it a mini saw or what, but I'm going to call it a plunge saw because that's exactly how it works. It won't work unless you plunge it down. Okay, and you actually have to pull it down and press the button at the same time in order for it to work. I love that idea.
It's safety for kids as well, actually. If you've got it plugged in, they touch a button, they're not going to cut themselves. Yeah,
you'll notice that I use a lot of corded tools. I do, that is a personal preference. It's okay here, obviously if you're on a building site it's not so good, but I prefer the corded because I'm not always waiting for batteries to charge up.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the corded tools are slightly cheaper than the battery operated tools. I was looking at getting another set of the DeWalt tools, which would have an impact driver and another drill. From Toolstation, it's nearly £400 for those two tools. So, yeah, the price difference is huge. Anyway, back to this, and I will go over tools that I've used for this flooring in a moment when I finish this, and you know, we'll talk about them in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to cut this piece, okay, and then I'm going to speed it up. just looking for
what?
on the table. Sorry.
I'd get you it, but
No, it's fine. Right, so we're on the last bit, as I say. So yeah, I'm just using
for me.
I'm just using a cheap back saw or tenon saw. It's the first piece off. That's a bit for the fire. Bit big at the minute, but okay. I'm just going to clean up. There we go. Just clean up that joint. I know I could have used another tool, but I'm just using what I've got on hand at the minute. Okay. So this is the last piece for this section of floor. I've just got another piece to put in here in a bit. Okay. This one's a bit tighter. That's good. There we go. This looks lovely. If anything, I think I'd like to trim this down here. So I'm just going to get my pencil. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that for now until I've done the brickwork here. Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, so that's another piece of the floor finished. Nice and simple. So I'm going to move on to this next bit, and I'll do that off camera because I've got so much to do today. Yeah, I've got so much to do today, so I'm going to do that bit off camera, and then I'll bring you back. So when we put the stairs in, I needed something firm and stable to anchor them to. So at the bottom here, we took out this piece of flooring. I've now got to put it back in, but in order for me to do that, really I need to take off the bottom of that door frame just there. Sorry, that piece of OSB is what we're using as a tripod at the moment. So yeah, I've got to take off the bottom of that side of the door frame. That door frame is actually coming out and will be raised, but at the moment it's hiding a lot of tools and, you know, another room that's got a lot of bits and pieces in it, and eventually it will have the same flooring that we've done, and you'll have seen the videos by now, you know, that we've done in the living room in there. Okay. Anyway, so what I've got to do here is I've got to take some of this off to you know, and leave 2 inches just to give me something to attach the bottom newel post. So there'll be a newel post there, and the same up the top there with handrail in between. Okay, so yeah, that's the task today. I hope I've explained that well enough. So we'll get on with it. So what I'm using is a wood and plastic bit on my multi-tool, which I'm just going to cut off this here. I've already marked it, so that's not too much of a problem. So we'll get on and cut this. I might well speed it up and put a little bit of music on, dependent on how long it takes me. So yeah, it's just a matter of doing it slowly, working your way down through. I mean, these aren't very accurate anyway, but this here is going to be turned into a tenon that the newel post will then slot down over, and then I'll drive some dowels in through to hold him. That was a fairly quick job. That's out of the way now. The next thing that I need to do is to remove this piece here. It's not sat on anything, and actually it's quite dangerous. So I'm just going to go and get the tools to do that. I tend not to have every tool here, especially when working in such a small plate area as this. Okay, so I'm just going to go and sort that. Okay, so I've just gotten the tools. I'm using a hammer, a hammer, a flat bar and an old chisel. This is probably, you know, one of those that I've just not looked after. I've got a brand new, I call them brand new, but a fairly new setup upstairs. So yeah, I'm just taking out the groove on one side because I want to try and keep as much of the tongue as I can. I might not be able to. So that's the next bit up. So I've just been told I have to hoover this section here. So I'm just going to do that next job before I can even think about doing anything else. So another bit for the file. Soon we'll have enough to keep us going for the winter. Right, so I'm going to get the hoover. I'm going to put that bit on time lapse. So I'm just going to cut the bottom of this door frame off. I know I said that, you know, this door frame will be coming out, but at the moment it can't. There's some other jobs that we need to do before that. So yeah, I'm just going to get on and do this. Like I said, this is an old chisel, so I'm not worried about it too much. That could be why.
Enough, Bruce. Don't need that nothing.
to get in through and out the other side easier. Doing its usual tricks. I'll have a look at it in a sec. I've done whilst off the camera is just placed down some batting in there which slide underneath the stairs to give the stairs a bit more support. So yeah, we're ready now to start cutting the boards and measuring them and putting them in place. So we're going to get on and do that. So I'm going to set you up in the living room somewhere and we'll get that footage. Okay, so yeah. So I've just been asked, whilst I've got the chop saw out, to cut these bits here up for firewood. So I might as well get on and just quickly chop these up, and yeah, then I can get on. Yeah, that's too short, that's too thick. Yeah. I don't really measure when I cut for you know, firewood, so I thought I'd just mention that, and I'll put you on time lapse whilst I'm doing this, and then I'll bring you back when we start cutting the proper boards. Okay. Hiya, I'm back. We're just going to put these planks in here. I hope I've put you at a nice angle. It's not very easy trying to do this with, you know, on my own. So I hope that I'm going to get this right, and do excuse this cable, but this runs upstairs at the moment. Okay, so you're not going to get knocked over. Right. So what I've done here, or what I'm doing here, is I've got to cut a piece out here, yeah, at this end here, too, so this board slides underneath here. Okay. And I'm just making sure that I'm doing it on the right side. No, I want it this way. Sorry, I'm just trying to work it out. Okay, so we want it this way round. There we go. But we want it flipped over. That's better. Right. Okay. So I've pushed it up here. Okay. I'm just going to put a quick pencil mark up against on the board near the plasterboard here, so that you know, it'll slide there. Then I'll bringing it across and pushing it up so that the board meets up here. Okay, bringing it across. Okay, and I can use my speed square here, and I'm just going to put a straight line across here. Then I'm going to use my speed square again to bring that line down from this end of the board. Okay. I'm just triple checking all the measurements, etc. So yeah, I've just got to cut this square out here. I'll take you over and we'll get that sorted, and then come back and do the next board. Okay, so most of these I'm going to do by hand. Some of them I won't because they're going to be too long, but you know, I thought I'd do this one at least by hand. Hone your you know, your hand skills, hand tool skills. Okay. Right. That board now is ready to be fit in place. The only thing I've got to do is knock off the tongue on this, which I'm actually not going to do by hand. I'm going to use the plunge saw. So I'm just going to set that up and get that done, and I'll meet you back over by the stairs for the next board. It was just pointed out to me by my dear wife that I hadn't forgotten to put the tin foil down, as she calls it. And just put the second piece in, the last piece. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that piece is now in. Now then, what we've got to do now is just put this. You might be wondering why I've cut the tongue off. Well, it's the groove that was here got cut off when we took the boards up. So I'm just, you know, I took the tongue off so that the boards butt up nicely. Okay, so we've now done it. I'm just going to fit this into place, and hopefully it fits first time. I doubt it though. Ooh, aren't I lucky? Now, I'll be honest, I did try it before putting the camera back on. I did cheat a little there. So yeah, we'll move on to this next. Anyway, I've got a couple of interesting ones here. This one not so much, because I've just shown you a very similar one here. But this one is, if you can see here, I've got to cut a piece that's going to go down here. And well, basically I've got to cut around this stringer of the stairs. So the way I'm going to do this, push it up as best I can. Yeah. A mark there, a mark in there, and another one down here. Right, this time I've got to do a bit of measuring, so I'm just going to go and find my measuring stick. 20mm. So we're going to come down 20mm. Oop, wrong mark. 20mm. And just put a mark there. I'm going to do the same down the other end. 20mm. Okay, so I'm going to go and get set up over by the sawhorses, and I'll show you now how we're going to cut this out. Okay, so we know we want 20mm depth, so I'm literally just going to come down, put a mark in, and do the same down this end. Okay, then I'm going to take a straight edge, which happens to be my little tiny spirit level, and draw a line across. So that's the section that's got to come out. Okay, we'll talk about how I'm going to take that out in a moment. Down this end, it's literally just a little notch that I'm taking out. You've just watched me do that, so it will take a couple of minutes, so yeah, why not? I was just thinking whether or not to, just get on and do it. Right, so we're going to take this notch out. So what I'm going to do here is put a line, cut down that one, and the same this side. Okay. Now I could use my multi-tool to take that out. But like I said to you a moment ago, sometimes it's quite nice to get some practice using just hand tools. So what I'm going to do is put several cuts quite closely together. Okay, like so. Then I'm going to grab my hammer, and I'm going to do is place my chisel, and actually that's a perfect size chisel, and slowly work my way through it. But the first thing I'm going to do is just cut myself a little V, like so, okay. And actually using chisels on pine is not easy. There we go. Just by cutting that them like that, has got rid of them. All we've got to do now is just come in and clean up the rest of them. So I'm going to get on and do this because I don't want to bore you and then bring you back to fit the board. Okay, so the other thing I did was I took this tongue here off, otherwise I wouldn't be able to get it down in between here. So what I've done is I've also raised this board here up again, and we're going to put it at a V, at an angle. So the two boards are at a V, okay? And then we're going to slowly push them down together. See, the the tongue has just started to go into the groove at either end, okay, and to get it down, and this goes for fixing floorboards as well, not just putting in new, okay. Okay, now then, all I've got to do is give it a good tug, okay, and just wedge that one, put this one back in, and just like that, we've got that in. So what we've got to do now is down the back here, okay, so we've got an awkward one here, and if you remember from when we spoke about the door over there, we're going to do the same trick because that seemed to work quite well. So put the piece in so it's, you know, lined up edges to edges, pencil and a piece of scrap, okay, and we're gonna stay safe if you can. Why not give it a go? I'm sure you can. If I can do it, anybody can.